Hello everyone, well, guess it's that time again, so I normally would not be addressing seeing something like this in this order of magnitude because if it's something that does not really seem good, if I don't think I can add my own take on it, I usually don't cover it. That's basically why I'm probably not going to be looking at the Emoji Movie, or 50 Shades or Twilight in my channel's tenure because if something that's bad had in that category, I usually know it and try not to give it any publicity, even bad publicity. However, this is a case where I think I'll be making an exception, and let's have a Death Note. So let's talk about how it's the Netflix TV series Neo Yokio. Oh, I mean this anime homage or spoof, for what you want to call it, stars a socialite, hate, hate slash as hunter, paranormal hunter, voiced by Jaden Smith, as well as competing with other characters for be the most elder bagger in the fictional Neo Yokio, which resembles a post-apocalyptic mashup of New York City and Tokyo, as the name implies. His main other characters, calling them charitable at best, in the sense they don't exist except only work of fiction, and are a robot butler known as Charles, voiced by Jude Law, uh, a psychic young woman known as Helena St. Tessero, voiced by Terry Gibbonson. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. A Kaz and Agatha, voiced by Susan Sarandon, as well as other characters such as the smarmy socialite Archangel Corelli, voiced by Jason Schwartzman, as well as as Kaz's cohorts Lexi and Godely, voiced by online comedian Jesus and Mero. The series is the brainchild of Ezra Koening of the band Vampire Weekend, and it's quite clear to me when I saw that it seemed like some kind of major sort of vanity project for both him and Jaden. And for instance, for freedom reference, I don't listen to Vampire Weekend. In fact, I usually don't listen to Top 40 in general. I kind of like a lot of music from the 80s and 90s. Occasionally some standouts, but otherwise, I stopped listening to Top 40 years ago. Oh man, oh and as for Jaden, that kind of didn't work out so well After Earth, and now that I might consider doing too, But at least After Earth, under the circumstances, can, and at least in my eyes, make a fairly decent comment if you were able to re-edit the movie. Because and that's the whole thing about this show. I'm starting to realize, in terms of original programming, Netflix, while they're usually better than this, they're not totally infallible. As a platform. I also acknowledge that in many ways, sometimes a cartoon can have surprising you. For instance, I was not expecting a whole lot from say, hey, what? Okay, I just thought from Welcome to the Wayne. Now I remember. I actually enjoy Welcome to the Wayne so far. I did not expect a whole lot from New Voltron. I'm really also enjoying New Voltron so far. They're gonna start 4 seasons of that soon, and also when the trailer for this first screen, I thought it looked pretty awful. Given the amount of downvotes hosts that have the trailer, not quite as many as New Magic School Bus, but that's more for another day, obviously. Keep more of an open mind towards that one. But this did have a fairly big discrepancy in the like to dislike ratio. But now that I actually have managed to watch the first 6 episodes, which are Tiny's first season, we'll see. It's bad. I mean, not as bad as I was expecting it to be in my eyes, but still very bad, man. In that sense. And once again, I'll point this out. Yeah. I'm also pointing out, much like with Death Note, that this is not a review because there's so little of its own identity that reviewing it would be, to me, actually be a disservice to what I'm doing. I mean, since just as it's a disservice to not just anime, but also basically any Western program that's ever taken influence from it, even the objective bad ones like Teen Titans Go, and but at the very least, Go had an idea, and I mean that's a second show I've talked about in the course of a year or so. That's actually I'm comparing unfavorably to Titans Go, the other being New Ben 10. I mean that's, I mean, I mean, I mean, in the case of the work done by Production IG and Studio Dean, who have worked on the actual anime, I mean, not it barely rises above the level of serviceable, and most of the time it's quite stiff if in how characters are portrayed. I mean, hey, nothing really stands out. It just seems like a mishmash of a lot better animes, including ones that are actually available on the site, as well as those how to draw manga books I had when I was younger. I mean, I mean, I also want to make clear that it's not the worst kind of series of its kind I've seen. I mean, I've seen a whole lot worse. I've looked at some bad ones this channel, and all, and it's just that I wanted to see. Yeah, I mean, I didn't use my profile to do it. I mean, I used the guest profile we set up a little bit ago at my house. But I mean, that's just my phone. I just got a text. I'm not gonna take a look at it right now. But it's just this ranges anywhere from dull, just outrageously offensive. I mean, I admit about this whole cultural appropriation controversy we've faced a lot lately that I would need to do more research on it, obviously, before I can form my own stance on it. But even setting that aside, the writing is just mediocre at best. I mean, nothing really stands out. I mean, it's one thing when they try to offend me and succeed. I mean, that's often a lot of Shiso's job. I mean, they just had to cross their lines, but I find it funny. I mean, it's when, in my case, when they fail at doing so, that it actually ends up holding the category of that sense. I mean, and very few jokes really hit for me since, and that's also another aspect. I mean, the comedy is definitely by far the weakest aspect of the show. I mean, despite being a dark comedy, I mean, given how I've often raised on things like all these McFarlane productions, like South, also other ones like Ben Bigley, like South Park, all these ones on Adult Swim, and even some stuff that's on the actual site. Like, if you want a good example of this kind of humor done well, having these totally narcissistic but way income individuals, as well as you can go watch Archer. I'm really enjoying that show because of how it actually has an idea that actually uses the setup to spoof the often fun and crazy nature of international politics and espionage, and how hilarity can often zoom in every detail because it knows kind of characters it wants to depict and it gets back. Here's what we're doing. It's depict. I mean, Archer title characters like basically like James Bond, way more narcissistic and way less competent. And I mean, I honestly don't know what they're trying to accomplish with characters in this show, which is definitely awful. Because, and I know that the actors they've chosen can definitely be funny, and these texts I will definitely get to when I'm recording this, but I mean, it's not just the ones who got on marquee. I mean, like John DiMaggio, Steve Buscemi, Stephen Fry. These are people that actually have talent. And my question is just, as how much do they want the money when they decide, hey, to agree to this whole thing, since... And it really is pretty bad when, even when they try to do the other elements, it screws those up too, since... I mean, basically, it's not as bad as, like, My Life Me, but it comes close. It's a dishonorable mention that my voice shows this type, to be honest. That's... Given how... It just seems like they were trying to do the least amount out in order to get things out of man sense. And every element just seems totally woeful. The stereotypical pop star, definitely doesn't help that her twang, which I highly doubt anyone and where she's from actually has, just gives me, it's like, I wonder if she pals around with Komo-san Yokai Watch, another genre I don't really enjoy. That's why, but while that one at least has some kind of audience, very few people have tried to defend this one in my case. I honestly don't know what they're trying to do, because... And I don't know what the New Republic is saying, that they describe the performance as exquisitely deadpan. I'm sorry, but that it does not automatically make it funny. It would be funny if it was just like a dramatic reading of Jaden's Twitter account, which might have been better, but because for a good funny example of deadpan would be Netflix on BoJack Horseman, where a very bizarre show, which actually a pretty good satire of the entertainment industry, and actually a common meme of the show is like, I never thought a show about a cartoon horse made me cry, but I can't really muster any emotion for this production. Since these characters, of course, the ones I want to see get hurt, or in some cases, and Schwartzman characters in them get killed, like once it's true, but it really doesn't really help that they could do that and I still wouldn't care about any of them, because that's the big problem. I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care about the world they're inhabiting. And I certainly don't care about a bunch of elitist, as how shall we say, twits. But yes, upper class twits. It's how eligible as bachelors makes sense. And since Anime News would calls it nigh unwatchable, college wall up, and Polygon also, definitely doesn't help. And I also really don't know how much Mike Hale is into this, because this is not pressure. This is not precious. Sorry. You see what the show's doing to me? It's actually frying my nerves so much that I am barely able to comprehend and what they were seeking to accomplish from this. It's like, there was, the episode where some of the other Hellenists, as I call them, even as they're being possessed, they all talk like some awful Valley Girl stereotypes. Haven't they really actually seen any movies where people are possessed? Like, say, I know it's common to predict them, like in The Exorcist, but actually, that actually would have worked better. In a sense, they should not be acting like they were giddy and having to say like J.C. Penny. They should be writhing in pain. Also, it doesn't help that many elements, like the setting itself, as well as certain scenes actually borrowed from my favorite anime film, Neo Yokio. I mean, a work is hazy quite influential, and even if they're gonna try and get the guy behind Thor Ragnarok about the a potential remake, and that's a whole other can of worms, it really irritates me when I see a work I admire be used in one that I just cannot believe has even got made in this day and age, because I know for a fact there are better things out there. I mean, for even no matter who you're writing for, or just do it right, or just don't. Okay. Hey, since I'm not entirely sure if Ezra Koening or any of the other members of the band understand this, but writing music is not the same thing as actually writing in a fictional work. I understand this perfectly, but it is entirely possible for it to be bounced about. That makes sense. Like say Purple Rain. Prince, rest his soul, based the film partially on his experiences when he was younger. That the kid is basically an analog for him, given how his relationship with his father there and his home life were not the best before he broke out. And it captures that time quite nicely. And another example of when it used anime's influence, both visually and for storytelling, is Daft Punk's Interstellar 55. It's a great film on its own, regardless of certain quality control. Oh, if you'll pardon the dig, it's some other person. And then the video segments were played on close to every channel I could think of, like Sci-Fi, Cartoon Network, and Toonami, and even MTV before they started playing all this other stuff as opposed to music videos. But that's not important right now. And if you were to ask me, is there anything you like about it? I will once again say yes. There is one running joke that actually amused me somewhat. Like, it's one of the most common memes of the show, like the oversized Toblerone chocolate. This Swedish, this Swiss chocolate. It's pretty good. It's got not the right blend of nuts and toffee in it, so it's like nice with a crunch in there. It's basically the size of 2x4, and it actually comes in handy on more than one occasion. I mean, it's just that everything else. As I kind of feel like it's same him about the Orville. Even though some chuckles and how I get out of it, unless there's a good way to establish tone and characterization on long term, it's not gonna last. I'll admit that because, there's only so much funding that I can commit to a show, and I can definitely say this much: Avatar: The Last Airbender is not. And also, a way that depicts a lot of characters is basically like a less funny version of the Boondocks, and I'll definitely say that. I know I'm not being vague about the details of plot, but that's the whole thing. It left so little impression on me as a viewer that it would not matter to me. I normally would have to play something like spoilers for this, but it just seems so vacuous and empty as a series. Series that there is really nothing. That it does on its own that has not been done better by virtually every other work out there that's influenced by. So, but sometimes, even though I wait to pass judgment, and as other people feel about it, I just gotta take a fall sometimes. So, that's basically all I've got to say about this Neo Yokio. That's even though they're touting this as a first season, I don't know how to do overall, but I'm not holding out too much hope for this. Since I'm sorry, Jaden. Hidden. I liked you in the 2010 Karate Kid, and I loved you in the pursuit of happiness, and that's the nicest thing I can say about this, apart from the Toblerone joke. Oh. And to anyone else watching this, definitely there's other videos that other people on social media are going to be watching in a minute or two. But if you're thinking of watching this, I can say don't bother. I mean, once again, like I said, my Death Note review, or rather my Death Note vlog slash Rambo, and well, Netflix has a lot better option on there, not in just in both anime as well as original content influenced by it. I mean, you can go watch New Voltron, for instance. There's going to be a fourth season of that soon. We're going to catch up on that. I mean, the new Castlevania series is excellent. It basically executing his own Failden, and before I go, kind of like Funimation Salt on their social media page. They've been doing a lot like that lately, and also the Yu Yu Hakusho. Basically, like this show done right. It's is definitely another example of that. Now, if you excuse me, after I upload this and then go have some Toblerone, that'll be all for now. Bang.